So let's do this. Um, just try to stream something and to record how to use fusen. So I'm now about to add a new functionality to fusen. This functionality is to keep the list of all the files created by fusen itself and all the files that you may have created by other means. And this list will help you clean your package built with fusen, because fusen inflates a lot of files, and sometimes it just change the name of a function or the name of a file, and you would like to clean every places where you created or used this function. The good thing with fusen is that you can build everything in one Rmarkdown, so you can change all the names in the same file. But once you already inflated the code, you have to clean all the files manually. So it's quite boring to do it yourself manually. So what I try to do now is to add this functionality to first register all the files that you created, and to see if they still exist, to see if they are still linked with the flat file, and then fusen will be able to clean the files that do not exist anymore. So I already started to build multiple functions, and today I just want to add one new function, which will be called what's its name? Register all files to configuration. It will be imagine that you just come from a new package that was not built with fusen, and you would like to add your functions. You would like to add to work now with fusen, and you didn't before. So to do so, you would like all the functions that are already created, or the files, tests, and vignettes that are already created, not to be deleted by this future function of fusen. So I am in the flat file. I am in fusen. The flat file is a Rmarkdown file where I put everything: documentation, function, examples, and unit tests. And I will add this new function with the fusen add-in, like add fusen chunks. The name of the function is register all to config. Okay, the function will be exported, sure. So I have this function. While I am writing the documentation, I just write why I am doing this. So this will be to keep all the files, because I am sure that the current state of my package is correct, and all the files that are inside needs to be recorded by fusen. So in this case, it's like if all files of the current state are legitimate, then you can register everything in the future configuration file. So I already started to write this documentation, so I will just copy the rest of my text. And not all the function is already written. So fusen will try to guess, to look at all the files that you already have in your existing package, try to link it to existing flat file if you already used a previous version of fusen, for instance, and register everything inside inside the configuration file, which will be in the dev directory, and the configuration file will be called fusen_config.yaml. So to do so, I will build the function, but before building the function, I um, I like to write the test that I will use to do it, so that I can test it each time I would like to add something inside. So I already have some tests that I wrote in different places of this flat file, because I already built the function that I will use inside the register all2config. And the test is about building an existing package. Part of it being built with fusen, part of the function being built written manually, and then I will see if the function register to all2config effectively registers everything to the configuration file. So I can go to one of my functions inside, which is list all files that are not registered in the config file, because this one already exists and I already wrote it in the Rmarkdown file. And I already have a unit test for this function, which is one part of it. So unit test typically is taking doom a package, create a new package. The package is created with fusen in this case. The previous version of fusen, of course, because this one does not exist yet. And it's had field description to fill the description file with your name and the content of the package. And add flat template, which is a way you add a new flat Rmarkdown file in fusen. And then you see I will inflate this this template so that I have already correct package. In these lines of code, in this test already, I also have added OR file inside the OR directory, which simulates the way that you added some functions in this package already without fusen. So I use this beginning of the code, keep it all, and I have the test for register all2config. I will change the name of the temp file so that I can follow it in the log files if the test fail. Okay, I have the inflate ready and the package. You see that I didn't started anything in the fusen here, so I will first load all the functions of the package, because I will need field description and inflate. But I will also load the functions that I built inside this flat file, but are not already exported or inflated inside my fusen package. So all these functions inside this flat file do not exist somewhere else than this flat file. So I recently added this function fusen load flat function, which will load all the functions that are inside a function chunk. Okay, so I inflated the function from the current flat file in the global environment. So I can see it in the global environment that I have df2config, check not register file, the one from which I took the beginning of this unit test, and other functions that are sub-functions that are created during this test. So now I can run my test. So I create a directory, I fill the description inside this directory, I add a flat template, I take the path of this flat template, and I will inflate this flat file inside this package in the temporary directory. So inflate basically, like you may know if you already used fusen, will inflate the flat Rmarkdown file, which contains functions, examples, test, and it will build the functions and the test put it in the correct place for our package, and also build the vignette as long as you write it. Now I simulate the creation of R file manually, like maybe you use this use pipe, for instance, or you have functions that you created before using fusen, or whatever function you created manually directly in the Aura directory. And the function I'm building now, register all the config, needs to detect all the files and to add them inside the configuration file. This function will be quite easy because it will use the function that I already created before, which are, as I said, which is check not registered file combined with df to config. So the check configuration file, check register not registered file, will look at all the files that are in your package and are not already inside the configuration file, which means all the files if you never created a configuration file. So it registers all this file and put them inside a CSV file so that you can decide if you keep them or if you want to remove them for the following of your work. I assume that this function you will use it only once when you migrate from old fusen package, old normal package to the new fusen possibilities. And this one will be combined with df to config, which will take the data frame and to put it inside the configuration file. Because if you want to add some new files manually, I guess it's easier to write it inside the data frame that can be read by your function than writing it directly inside the YAML file. Whatever you want. The function does not exist yet, so you'll see and you'll try and you'll tell me. So with this file, I already have some unit tests. So the first part you already saw it, I used it. And then I have check not registered file from this domain package. Modify the CSV manually because usually you have to do it manually to add some file or to remove some from the list of found file. And then I read the CSV and I put the data frame into configuration file. So what I want to do with my new function is to do these two steps at once without the manual part because as I wrote, I assume that all the files in the current state are legitimate. So this will be the core of my function, basically. I also know that I can make two CSV equal false because in this case I will have a data frame as output, and instead of so that I do not have to write and read CSV file, and I will just use the data frame directly. Okay, return the path to the configuration file. Now I clean it. Okay, so I have the core of my function. Now I need to test if it works correctly. So basically, I probably will have to write the path of the package here, which will be my parameter. And because I added a parameter, I need to declare it. Parameter package path to the package to path to the package to add the files from which to add files to configuration file. This function will be to include all package existing or all existing package files in the configuration file. And indeed, it is supposed to help the transition from non-fusen packages or even earlier versions of fusen package. Param return, it returns the path to configuration file. It is exported, and I do not add my working example there because the example will be written in this specific example chunk. So if you know fusen, you know that this example chunk will appear inside the vignette, the one that I am writing now, without, of course, the function and test chunks inside. And this example will also be added inside under the export function, under the inside the or oxygen documentation. Maybe I can put a little light. Yeah, that'll be better. Okay. So, how is my streaming? Stop. Maybe I can start it again. Yeah, my connection. Okay, so I can continue and I'll see if the streaming is working again or not. Up, reload. Okay. So I'll just continue this. I was about to test the package and to try it and to see what is expected. Even without trying it, I can write a few expectations. So I expected my function is actually a function. This is a default test. I expect the output of the function to be the path. So of course I will have to run the function on my package, which is called here dummy package, and the out path, it's supposed to be the path of my dummy package dev, and by default it will be fusen config.yaml file, and then I see what I find inside this YAML file. Okay, so let's try it, and of course this should work without error. Expect no error. Let's try it. So I already created the dummy package. I already have files inside, and this expectation is working because if you have nothing, it works. And then I can run this. Just to be sure, I will just debug once this function first, just to see. Debug once the function first, and just to see if it works properly. Okay. And Now I can run it. Path. Okay. Argument inutilisé. Okay. Because of course this function has not been run in the global environment. I didn't run the function chunk. So I will run fusen load flat functions. Run again debug once. And now I can run this function again. Okay, I'm inside. I prefer debugging inside the source code, which is in my case inside the flat file. So if I run this, I have, what is it? It's supposed to be a data frame. So I have data frame with type. Maybe I can open it, view out df. Okay, I have the type. I found all my OR functions inside. Median, other median, to keep is a function I added myself. And I have the unit test and the vignette, so these ones are already inside the package. And it did not find the source file, meaning that maybe there is a problem with my check not register file, because it should have found the flat file of origin. So I will check it just after. And df to configuration. This should create the code. Error, some margin do not exist. Right, keep to full path to the flat. So maybe yes. Because df to configuration file, df file, flat file. Ah, yeah, I know. I know. I just messed up my own package, because here I run the register all config inside my current fusen package, but I do not want to run it. I want to run it inside the demo package. So I need to be in the project context. So I need to use this with project, maybe with directory would work. Tech, and that should be better. Okay. Okay. So browser, and because to be inside the use this, I need to run it from inside. I will quit this one and run again this. Now I am stopping the browser file, and I will debug once inside register config. Okay, let's go back to the code so that I can change it. What about this? Ah, that's much better. So view. So here I have my files. I know the origin. This one has no origin because I created it manually. Okay, that's good. And if I run it, what did I do? Okay, some origin in the file do not exist. Row 3, no existing source path found. So if I want to keep, yes, because I protected it. If I want to keep this one, I need to write keep and not all the information that the function returns. So I will need to modify all this code before injecting the out.df inside. This is to force the user to open the CSV file and to do something about it. otherwise just register all configuration. So let me do some Rbase in this case, which is origin. Comment je vais faire ça? Alors, I like to which no keep, which keep. I will grep out the origin. All those where it's written something like keep or write keep or no existing source path found. Okay, let's do this. Okay, and all these ones w keep will be filled with keep. How many? Only one. Okay. Okay. What's the content of this one now? Okay, this one contains keep. And now I can run this. This works. Some path would appear multiple times. Yes. Because I already built this before. So what happens if I open RStudio API, navigate to file? That's on. Okay, sorry. Okay, because it stopped. Good. So file path package dev and fusen config.yaml does not exist. Does not exist. Ah, yeah, no way. List files. Okay, there is my platform. So it says to me that I have outdf with multiple functions to be used twice. Why? Let me debug this one. Configuration file. Okay, df file is not missing. Okay. Check origin exists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now okay. Remove all the skip. File exists. If all exists, okay. Df path. All files exist. It means that all path 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exist. Okay. Otherwise there is an error. And I take the full path. Median keep test median other median. Ah yeah, maybe. The full origin corrected, perfect. Any duplicated false. Okay. The flat file is empty. Each file is unique. All group lists. I have two groups. The one for each flat file dev or keep. Okay, I'll apply for each. One group YAML. Maybe inside this one I miss something. Debug once. Okay. So I am inside the group. I have the flat file name, which is the full complete YAML does not exist yet, so all key before is empty. This group list is this group list is okay, path or test, and keep is inside. So no, I would like to keep from the df file only the ones that have origin equal flat file path. So update one group YAML. Where is this function? Up, one group here. Update one group YAML. Tech, and in this case, I will need to filter part of them. Their files filtered, which is their files, which I don't need which. Yes, df files of origin equal flat file path up. And if I have df filtered, okay, this one's good. Df files filtered. I prefer using this to avoid fuzzy match. And I see it. It's easier to read. Deck. Okay. This group list is good. Group list this before. Okay. And in this case, that should be good. So I changed many files now. So I will just load all the functions inside the flat file just to be sure I have them all. I will run again this so that I'm sure I work on a new package inside a new temporary file. Okay, good. I am in brother. Up, register. Still error. Debug once. Again. At some point it will be good. Huh? So I'm here. Out df is correct. Okay. W keep out df again. If I view this one, good. And now df to config. Okay. All file exist. All path exist. No duplicates. Okay, let's try this one again. I have flat full with the path is correct. Two functions in OR. The two functions, one function in test. One is the vignette is not in vignette. Why? Mm-hmm. Why is the vignette not in vignette? Maybe inside vignette there is the word test? No. Group list. Why are you there? One missing. Okay, config, check not registered. Or is this one example? What I am looking for? Update one group, sorry. Flat filtered, flat filtered, flat filtered. Files filtered, files filtered, files filtered. I just did with a double square brackets to avoid this problem, but okay. Load flat functions. Again, go back to my example. Okay, again. Well, I can still go inside this one. Project the package. Okay, this time it's good. Nope. File incorrect. Why? I cannot run it twice. Why? That's a good to know. So expect error. The first one should not be problematic. And because I encounter a bug, I will do a second unit test to be sure that this bug does not appear anymore. So let's do this second time. Try a second time to verify there is no problem with file incorrect. So why is the second time not working? Debug once. Nul. Because there is nothing else to register. Because I already registered everything, so there is no more files to register. So I did not account it for this case. So what happens? So second times is what happens if everything is already registered. There should be no error, but a message. So outdf if is null that there is no data frame out. So let me give a message like there is no file to register or everything was already registered. And I can return null. What would be nice? It would be maybe the name of the configuration file. and the configuration file can be in somewhere else if the user chooses so. So let's find it. Get option. It will be better. Return path. Get option. Configuration file. Okay. Okay, so if it's null, we stop there. Otherwise, we clean it and return the config again. Good. Stop. I changed some functions, so let me load the content of the Rmarkdown. And let me try again the unit test. Okay. It should just stop at the browser there. So there should be no error there. Good. Out path. Okay. At least I expect the out path to be the same in both places. And if I run it a second time, there's no problem. I should have a message. Message is nothing to register. At least. Up. Expect message. This one. Let's try again. Okay. The test is empty, so it should be good. And expect the out path is not. Yeah, do I want the full path or the relative path? I don't know. Maybe in this case I can be normalize path in accordance with the other functions, and I will think about it later. Okay, so my test path, you saw that I started writing the objective of my function first. So what do I have in mind? What do I want to do? And what is the user is supposed to do with this function? So first I write the text. Everything that I have in mind, I write it there so that I don't have to keep it for myself for a long time. In this case, I wrote the beginning of the unit test before trying to write my own function. Why? Because so that I already have a reproducible example to try and to use inside my code, so that I can verify that my function is working correctly. And because it's a reproducible example, I can also use it for the example inside package. So basically, I would say this one will be eval equal false, and I will put it as don't run, because if I don't put any argument to this function, it will run on the current package, but I want, of course, the user of the fusen will use it on this package, but run this one inside the current project. But if I want to show the users how an example, a reproducible example, so usually you use this one, of course, because you are in your package and you want to run it in the current package. But if I use this function inside my examples and inside my vignette, it will run on fusen, and I don't want this function to mess with the fusen package during the checks or during the check of the package. So I will create a second set of examples. This one will be run inside the vignette. So if here is for the vignette, don't run it for the examples inside the function. I can give it a second name, otherwise there may be problems. And this one will be registered, or you can try the reproducible example. This will be included inside the help of the function when I will inflate. Do me package, field description. So this one works, and of course I need to add the project. Let me remove browser and this. Up and this one, and expect error. Of course, you do not put expect error inside an example. And then you can, of course, have a look at the content of our path. Yes. Read lines or read YAML, read YAML to see what the content of this file. Look at the output. So this is just an example of use to be included inside the examples of my function. So this flat file, basically, I never inflated it yet. So I will try to do it now. I will just commit before, just to be sure that I do not break anything before inflating. So commit. And featuring add what's his name? Add the function to migrate from all package. I add a new function. I wrote unit test along with it. I wrote the documentation along with it at the same time in the same file as you saw. Why users would want to use the new config file in the new fusen version without having to write it themselves if coming from older version or classical package. What did I do? I implement what's its name again? Function is called register alt config. Alt config. And what is the issue? It's issue 24. I know it because I have the name of the branch, which is called 24. So let me commit that. So this function does not exist in my package now. Let me stop this. Load all. Okay. Fusen or so I do not have any function called register alt config, for instance. So let me go down to my flat file and I will inflate it. up, the last line. Inflate the flat fusen file. The vignette name will be clean fusen file. Check equal false for this time because I do not want to mess with everything and wait a lot of time. And I inflate everything and the flat fusen message file or directory because I am still inside my package. Session restart R and tell me what do you want. Okay, let's restart fusen then. It's quite lost or too much changing packages inside packages inside packages. It's quite of the risk, right? Writing a package that helps write packages. So with all, okay, twice, no problem, no big deal. And let's go to inflate. There is already a vignette. Yes, I know, because I started writing it manually. That was not a good idea. So I clean the vignette. I add new files. I have new functions. Okay, okay. I have a missing return somewhere. And if I look at my OR directory, I have created something, maybe. What happened? Check not registered. Please. Don't like this new functionality. I cannot see what I'm doing. Okay, the vignette is good. Let's see the vignette and the vignette is clean fusen files. Yes, it is already open. Thanks. So I have my text explaining the user what to do, the same text that I already wrote, the register auto-config, and I have the example to not run and the example to run if you want to test it. Of course, the Rmarkdown will work, the vignette will work, and I have the same for the other functions. And I am supposed to have written all of this inside the same OR file because I wrote file name clean fusen files. So OR clean fusen files, yes. And all functions should be inside, not registered, guess, list, okay, okay. Register all to configuration, it is there, and you can see that the example is there. And it uses, I thought I put both examples when I have two example chunks. I will look at it again. Or maybe I didn't use the last, yeah, I didn't use the last version of fusen inside. Okay, and of course I also have the unit test written for the same test clean fusen file, and I have all the tests inside for all the functions, register all the function, df to config, testful, which is the last one I have to create to make it work. Because now I will have to, now there are still some browser inside. I will have to finish this set of functions so that you can use this new functionality, but that will be for another time. Thank you for this following me. I don't know, I hope this video will help you better use fusen or see how to use fusen, how I do use it, and maybe it will give you some new ideas about your own packages. See you later.